In the high-stakes game of electronic hide-and-seek, India has reportedly outsmarted China's most advanced spy ships without firing a single shot, by turning a routine aviation alert into a tactical weapon of deception. New Delhi is successfully blinding Beijing's ability to steal its most sensitive missile secrets. In the world of military aviation, a NOTAM, that is, Notice to Airmen, is a standard warning used to clear the skies for events like a missile test. However, for India, these notices have evolved into a sophisticated tool for strategic feints. According to open source intelligence and maritime tracking data from 2024 to 2025, India has developed a pattern of issuing, shifting, and abruptly cancelling these alerts specifically to disorient Chinese surveillance vessels. Whenever India declares a danger zone in the Bay of Bengal, China frequently responds by deploying research vessels like the Yuan Wang or Xiang Yang Hong series. These ships are essentially floating laboratories equipped with massive parabolic dishes designed to track a missile trajectory, ignition phases, and telemetry data. If a ship is in the right place at the right time, it can digitally clone the missile performance, giving China the data needed to build effective countermeasures. To counter this, Indian defense planners have adopted a two-pronged strategy. According to experts like Sandeep Unnithan and tracking data from the late 2025, India uses the following deceptive techniques. India often issues a NOTAM for a massive range, such as more than 3,500 kilometers, indicating a long-range ballistic missile test. As Chinese ships scramble to position themselves along that flight path, India suddenly cancels the notice and issues a new one for a much shorter, that is 1,000-kilometer range, leaving the Chinese ships hundreds of miles away from the real action. In December 2025, India issued 3 separate NOTAMs in quick succession. Each time, the Chinese ships, including the Lan Hai 101 and Xiyan 6, moved into tracking positions. India scrapped the test at the 11th hour. This forced the Chinese vessels to waste fuel and resources while exposing their own response patterns, effectively letting India study the spies instead of the other way around. Once the Chinese surveillance fleet relaxes or moves towards a port for refueling like Colombo or Hambantota, India has been known to conduct sudden tests with minimal warning, catching foreign satellites and ships out of their optimal tracking windows. Several high-profile tests have recently featured this shadowboxing. Mission Divyastra, that is Agni-V MIRV, March 2024. While Chinese ships Xiang Yang Hong 01 was loitering off the coast of Visakhapatnam, India successfully tested the Agni-V with multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicle technology. Reports suggest the test was timed and the trajectory managed so precisely that while the ship was present, it could not capture the full flight profile of the multiple warheads. The K-4 SLBM Saga, December 2025. Throughout December 2025, India issued and cancelled at least 4 NOTAMs for the K-4 submarine-launched ballistic missile. Each cancellation coincided with the arrival of a cluster of Chinese survey ships. By the time the actual validation occurred, the surveillance fleet was reportedly misaligned, protecting the K-4's classified acoustic and thermal signature. Agni-Prime, April 2024. India used stage-wise expansion, initially declaring a small zone and then suddenly expanding it, which disrupted the pre-positioning of Chinese assets that were expecting a different flight path. By using these NOTAM games, India is protecting what the military calls electronic order of battle. If China were to successfully record the telemetry of an Agni or K-4 missile, it could develop specific jamming technologies or interceptors to neutralize India's nuclear deterrent. Instead, India's fake-outs serve a dual purpose. They ensure that the real data remains secret, and they force China to reveal the speed, location, and technical limits of its own spy network in the Indian Ocean. In this silent war of nerves, India has proven that sometimes the most effective way to win is to simply change the date.